Welcome to the Audience Converter Podcast, the podcast for converting your audience from strangers to loyal fans. We dive deep and discuss how entrepreneurs, consultants, and coaches can level up their business to help more people in the world. Now here's your host, the creator of the Audience Conversion Method, Kimberly Weitkamp.
Do you struggle with getting your message in front of the right people? I don't mean figuring out which of the many social media channels to be out there. But whenever you have a new offer or a new opportunity or even a new resource that you really want to share with your community, do you struggle with getting your community to actually open your emails? I have created a really awesome in-depth workshop where we'll go through exactly how you can use a welcome series. It's a series of 5 to 7 emails that people get when they first join your list that creates a curated customer experience and leads to higher engagement rates, higher conversion rates, and higher open and click rates. You can join me and grab your ticket at theaudienceconverter.com/workshop. If you've ever wanted to create an engaged community that you know is going to be more eager to open your messages, learn about your offerings, and of course, expand the audience in which see your offer and have the opportunity to invest their time, energy, resources, and money with you, this is definitely an option for you to get those welcome series written. So this 3-hour workshop will be a get it done style, training, time to write, and time to get feedback. Grab your ticket at theaudienceconverter.com/workshop. Welcome to another episode of the Audience Converter podcast for community leaders, where we talk about the business side of building a community that makes a bigger impact, builds your business, and lets you help more people. Today, we are talking about real marketing metrics. One of the things people ask me all the time is about information related to the metrics of figuring out if your marketing is working or not. So I decided today we're going to dive into this topic, talk a little bit about it, and really explore what does success look like. So one of the things I get asked all of the time is around email open rates. And that, of course, is because a lot of the work I do is with email marketing, is with creating campaigns that heavily rely on email, especially, for example, around launches. And then, of course, I also do a lot with writing your welcome series. And of course, if you are interested in getting more opens, more clicks, more engagement, and ultimately more sales from your subscriber list, you should definitely explore creating a welcome series for your own email list. And if you are wanting a little bit of help, a little bit of guidance, do be sure to head to theaudienceconverter.com/workshop. Again, that link will be in the show notes. And we're going to be hosting a Write Your Welcome series workshop coming up in just a few weeks. So we do that on a regular basis. So always be sure to go ahead and check out the website, theaudienceconverter.com/workshop. It's Write Your Welcome series. It's a get it done style workshop, 3 hours, where you will write your welcome series over that time. Go over the fundamentals, get the training, understand how to really write the emails that will work and convert for your goals, and then, of course, getting the writing done. But enough about that. Let's talk about marketing metrics and what real marketing metrics actually look like. So there's this thing called vanity metrics. And I always talk about vanity versus real metrics. And here's what I mean by that. Vanity metrics are what other people look at. It's kind of like asking for permission or asking for approval from other people. And those are the ones, though, that most people tend to ask about because they can't really ask about the other metrics, the hidden metrics, the metrics that actually make an impact for you and your business. So for example, one of the most common questions I ever get is, what's a good open rate? And my question's always, well, what's a good open rate for what? A good open rate for content, a good open rate for your podcast, a good open rate for just a general email. What are you doing with your emails? Why do you want to know about the open rate? What does that open rate actually translate to? So the answer to what is a good open rate is, well, there isn't one. There isn't a really good open rate because it depends on what your goal is for your marketing. And I'll give you a quick example. If you look at any number of benchmark reports, right? I believe Benchmark actually publishes one, HubSpot publishes one, A lot of different CRMs like MailChimp and such, they'll publish information around, what is the average open rate for a particular industry. And if you are in the online business world, if you sell marketing, if you sell coaching, if you sell anything like a course, bad news, the industry standard is about 15%, which means every time you send an email, about 15% of your audience is going to open that message. Now, if you think, oh my gosh, that's so low, that's horrible. What? What do you mean only 15% of people are going to open my message? If it makes you feel any better, anytime the government sends you an email, your likelihood of opening is about 28%. And that is the highest, usually, industry standard. So if you look at industry standard open rates, and they categorize it by industry. So, manufacturing, government, retail, I don't remember all of them. And they'll do it by, highest to lowest. Marketing online space is like 8 to 12% usually, depending on who you're looking at and how recent the study was. And government is usually in the top 5, sometimes the top 3, sometimes the top 1. Again, it just depends on which study you're looking at. But again, it's like 28%. So that's not a huge amount of interest, right? So when people ask me what's a good open rate, I always have to wonder, what's a good open rate in comparison to what? And that can just lead to comparanoia. Right? And as a person who runs your own business, especially as somebody who's looking to build a community around what you do, you want to avoid comparanoia at all costs. And comparanoia is when you constantly have to look to other people to see, am I successful or not against them? And it's really damaging to what you're doing and what you're trying to do, because you are not that other person. You are not that other business. You are you, and what you offer is unique. So when somebody asks you, what metrics should you track? What's a good open rate? What's a good any kind of metric? The question isn't about the vanity, not how many clicks, not how many opens. At the end of the day, it's about how many people convert. And you get to decide what a conversion looks like. So what I mean by that is, let's say, I'll give a great example, right? You'll hear me say a lot, marketing is a numbers game. It's all about the numbers, right? You have to get X number of people in to get X number of percentage, to get X number, to get X number. Because if you do look at marketing overall, we're going to dive into the comparanoia a bit here, but if you do look at marketing overall, you can say, okay, what's a good standard conversion rate even? So let's say landing pages convert at 30%. That's amazing. If from a landing page, they go to a sales page or a webinar's converting at 3 to 5% live, that's amazing. A sales page converting at, 3 to 5%, that's amazing. And then you work backwards, right? Okay, so if I can assume I'm going to get an average conversion of 30% on my landing page, how many people do I need to get what I want? That's kind of how you have to work backwards. But that kind of treats the people who see your marketing and your marketing campaigns as general people. And when you create marketing that really speaks to the right audience, when you narrow in and hone that and know exactly who you're talking to, then you can expect much higher conversions, because more of the people who are seeing you are the right people. And it doesn't matter if you only have a small number, because if it's the right people, it's the right message for them. And then it's a lot easier to lead them to that conversion step. And I'll give you a quick example here. One of the more recent episodes we talked about was a behind-the-scenes look at a summit. I think I'm going to also do a behind-the-scenes deep dive into a recent event I hosted. If that is of interest to people, we'll see how the other ones perform. But a recent event, I didn't give myself enough time to do the marketing. I'll be honest. A lot of things kept coming up. I had some deadlines. And unfortunately, because I was trying to get something done by a specific time frame, because I had another commitment coming up, I went ahead and promoted this live event with not enough time. It only had about 2 weeks, I think. But you know what? It didn't matter. Because my messaging, my market, my definition of the audience, I knew exactly who I needed to come to this event. I knew exactly who it would be a fit for. And that is what the messaging and the positioning and the marketing campaigns talked about. Who this was the exact right fit for. So of every message I sent, and I only sent it to a very specific segment of my list, so it didn't go out to everybody. It went out to a very small percentage of people who were the exact right fit. or near the exact right fit, right? I got five people to sign up for the event. Now, some people might be thinking, oh my gosh, that's a failure. Only 5 people? What? Didn't matter. It was a workshop style event, so it actually allowed me to provide a really highly personalized experience for everyone who attended. And you know what? I said, well, this tells me right now kind of where people are at, where people aren't at, gives me an idea as to what I can tweak in the future. But 5 people said, yes, this is exactly what I want. So I hosted the event. And of the 5, only 3 showed up all 3 days for the full amount of time. One of them never showed up, and one of them showed up for about 20 minutes 3 times during the first day, and that was it. And you know what? Lives happen. Other things are going on. Maybe something came up and the schedule had to change. There's no knowing, and I'm not going to drive myself crazy trying to figure it out. So I delivered a very highly personalized event for 3 people. But they were the right 3 people. They were the right 3 people. One person was not going to be a fit for my mastermind that I was just opening up. And if you want to learn more about the Audience Converter Accelerator, which is enrolling right now, feel free to reach out at contact@theaudienceconverter.com. And I will drop a link as well in the show notes to the summary of how the mastermind is going to be run. But that was the purpose. I wanted to provide a great resource. I wanted to help people get something done in their marketing campaign. And I knew I was going to give them an opportunity to work further with me. So of the 3 people who were in the room with me, 2 were a fantastic fit. The third one I knew wasn't a fit. And even if that person had been interested, I would have told them no. I have other methods that I could work with them with, but they're not a fit for this particular program. But they had won a free ticket, right? I had 5 people pay, and then I had this extra person who had won a free ticket. But they provided a really great environment. They provided a great community feeling. They were highly interactive as well. So they still gave value to the event. And of those 3, 2 of the people joined my program. So that's a 66.6 infinity, or just, rounded up 67% conversion rate, which is unheard of at an event. And granted, it was a small group, but it was the right people. It was the exact right people. So when we talk about knowing your metrics, when we talk about your marketing metrics, when we talk about knowing exactly what success looks like for you, you have to really define that. And before you ever do anything, don't compare yourself to somebody else, right? There are other people out there who essentially do copywriting, and they have their own programs, and they fill their events much larger, but they have different goals. They have different audiences. They have a different place they're coming from. I'm not going to compare myself to them. I don't want to. I don't need to. I had an idea as to what success would look like for me. And before I ever started the promotion for the event, I wanted 3 to 5 people to sign up for my year-long mastermind, which is enrolling now at the founders level, so I can co-create this with people. And when I saw how many people I had signed up, I was like, okay, so 3 to 5, probably not possible, but let's still aim for it. And getting 2 out of 3, that's a really big win for me, especially since that third person, she was not a fit. And those are the people who showed up. Those are the people who were in the room. And so I would call it a 95% success rate for my own event. And, that just goes to show, right? All of us are testing out what works, what doesn't work. But really, at the end of the day, your real marketing metrics are tied to what success looks like for you. Okay. So one of the things that, especially in creating a welcome series, I have people ask themselves is, well, what is that next step people can take to be a little bit closer to becoming a customer? Oftentimes people say, I've got this really high-end program. It's 1-to-1. It's like, $50,000. I don't think people are going to be ready to work with me just after 5 emails. And I said, okay, that's fine. But what would they be willing to do? What is that next step? And most of them are like, oh, well, the next step would be getting on an introductory call, or getting on a quick strategy call. Or, most people, once they go through this particular program, then they know more about what I do. And that's when they're ready to explore working with me further. So I'm like, okay, well then sell that mini course, or have them join your Facebook group, right? All of those are viable success metrics. and they're not about percentages. So, how many people per month do you want to ask to join your Facebook group? How many people per month do you want to say, yes, I'd like to talk to you on the phone? How many people per month do you want to say, oh, yeah, you know what? I think that's the right course for me. I'm going to invest in it. How many people per month do you want to do that? Or maybe it's not per month. For some people I've worked with, they say it takes about 3 months, and they know their audience and they know what they offer and they know the value of what they offer. And they said, yeah, they need to know me for about 3 months before they're ready to take that step. So within 3 months, what do you want people to have accomplished? What do you want them to have done? And one of the things people then ask is like, okay, well, if I can't use open and clicks and blah, 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 how do I track my metrics? It's very simple. You create a spreadsheet with your ultimate goal. And then you can use those vanity metrics to see if they are supporting your end goal. So for example, if you have a 10% open rate, here, let's do the industry standard. If you have a 15% open rate and you're getting 5 new people into your Facebook group a month, then it's working. So you can decide, okay, if I increase my open rate, if I do something to get more people to open my messages, will that mean I get more people into my group? Let's find out. So then you can test that. Test different methods to increase your open rate and then see, does your enrollment rate go up or down? Same type of thing with clicks. Okay, 1% of people click, and then that results in the 5 people a month. Okay, so if your 1% of people are clicking and it results in 5 people a month, you're winning. If 0.5% of people click and it results in 5 people a month, you're winning. So how can you improve that click rate? If you improve that click rate, does it improve the conversion? Does it increase the people who are wanting to join that group? Those are all different ways that you can track your metrics. So to really, a simple method for tracking your metrics, honestly, is have a space for your vanity stuff, right? Have a space for your open, have a space for your click, have a space for your reach maybe. If you're talking social media, have a space for your downloads. If you're talking podcasts, it doesn't really matter. And then have a column for your ultimate goal and your timeline, and see. Every couple of weeks, check in, see how that's going. Every couple of weeks, see, okay, did this happen? Did it not happen? And whatever your timeline is, so if it's per month, then at the end of every month, you need to check, did it work? Did it not work? So those are just some really fast ideas about tracking your marketing metrics. And it's something I want you to really consider, right? Marketing, I want people to kind of reframe how marketing is. Marketing is not you convincing people to work with you. Marketing is communicating with the people who are a good fit to work with you about the process for that happening. Okay, how can I help you? Every marketing campaign should have how I can help you at the heart of it. You ask that question, how can I help you? And then you are communicating with the right people at the right time with the right message. And that leads people further into your world. And instead of thinking, oh, it's lead generation, that's not the word. Don't use lead generation. Stop using the word lead generation. It's not about generating something from nothing. It's about connecting and communicating with the right people and bringing them into your world. Marketing is simply you putting your message in front of the people who already are looking for your help. They just know about you. So remember, real marketing metrics, they're powerful, they're useful, and there's no need to compare yourself to other people. You get to define what success looks like. Some people would look at my event and say it was a failure. I look at my event and say it was a runaway success. It was the first ever event I hosted. I did it in very few amount of time. Wow. I was able to put it together and promote it with less than about 2.5 weeks notice. So I was really communicating with those people who were pretty close to being ready to work with me. And you know what? I got the winning percentage and the wins. And I'm so excited to work with these individuals. They have amazing businesses, and I cannot wait to help them grow, help them get their community going, and help them make a bigger impact in the world. So you know what? My event was a runaway success. I am so excited that it went so well. But, if I were to compare myself to a big name that has a list of 100,000 people and their last launch was 3.2 million and they had over 1,000 people at their live event, well, then I would feel inadequate. But I don't need to compare myself to them because that wasn't my success. My success metric is the one I had, and it's the one I won at. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Audience Converter podcast for community leaders. Do remember to check out the link on being able to work further with me on the summary of opportunity. And of course, if you're ready to finally dive in and get your welcome series written, do join us on the next iteration of the Write Your Welcome series workshop. Until next time, keep calm and carry on and get your marketing done.
Thanks for listening to the Audience Converter podcast. For more information and important links about today's show or for access to our website, visit theaudienceconverter.com. Take a moment to rate and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.